Okay, guys, I've made a lot of mistakes in the past on this channel with things that I kind of jumped the gun on. I thought I had a solution for, and I put out a video and it turned out to not really be the solution. So I wanted to wait extra long on this solution because we have to deal with these new casters that are just different than the other ones. So I just went for a ride on these and I think I may have finally found the solution. So here's what we do. You take the new casters and you weld the original bearing down in here. Okay. Now it doesn't even have to be on there perfectly straight, but I'm going to show you what I did here. So it will fit on the original kingpin. And if you look in here, that's not even perfectly straight, right? But it is still working, and I'll show you why. So there's something on the Amazon parts list. This is the part. These are a pack of oil crush washers. And what you have to do is hammer them flat. Now, I've got these stacked here. So basically, you hammer them flat. These are a couple of the original washers from the original casters. But here's the most important thing, okay? You're going to take the top piece off of the new caster. You're going to completely disregard the bottom. You don't need it because the bearing from the old set of casters actually, and I want to show you wherever I sat those down. Where did I? Oh my gosh. Here, duh, they're right here. I'm such a dork. So the very original stock casters, these held up really, really well. I welded these bearings on also, and they're just rock solid. So if you want to just not order anything new and use the cheap double caster mod, that works. The problem is one side of this wears down before the other because they're not one solid piece, and so the inside tire is going to wear down faster. But you could do 3, and that would probably give you even more awesome stability. But that's not really what we're talking about. But I am letting you know this is an awesome mod. The only thing that's really hard to do is drilling out the square side here to the proper size because it's some very tough steel. Anyhow, if you go this route, I just spot welded this a little bit at a time. Be careful, this is zinc. Someone in the comments let me know that this is super bad for you to breathe in, this coating, when it gets heated up and vaporized, and they're not kidding. You'll get a headache real bad. So I set a fan in front of my station to suck that air out immediately. This is the key here. If you look at this, when you set this down in here, you want this little gap. You do not want it flush, because if this little gap is here, that's how you know there's enough washers in there in between the bottom and this inner race that's transferring all that torque. If there's no gap, or if it's flush or even poking out, then you're not transferring that weight properly, and you're basically going to bind the edge of this bearing and it's not going to be able to swing freely. So now that we have that there, basically I've already got this side complete and it works perfectly, rolls nice and smoothly. So that's the solution for now. Unfortunately, yes, you have to weld it. I suppose if you really are desperate, you could just try to not weld it and just sandwich it in there. That might actually work. I don't know. You're probably going to get some shifting back and forth because the notch in here, while almost exactly the same size as this bearing, is like maybe 1/8 of an inch of free play. You could try it, but there's going to be a transfer of torque if this isn't on very tight, through the weld. But you can see my welding job is actually very horrible, but it's holding up. So I will keep you posted, but for now, this is the Widecaster mod solution. The most important thing is you got to get these crush washers, hammer them flat, and stack them until you get that gap. And then you should be good to go. All right. Any questions, leave them in the comments, but that should cover everything.